So, in more ways than one, I'm completely at the end of my rope in life. I kind of have been my entire life, but lately my brain has been wired slightly differently, and I can't tolerate things that I used to be able to tolerate. Um, the thing about today is this day and age is that there's so much social media these days, and there's so many influencers and information and opinions to consume literally all day long. And yet I've noticed that none of it is very human, and none of it is very catered to the individual. And I have come to realize, as an extremely mentally ill, neurodivergent person over a period of time, especially as an adult, how unfulfilling it is to do things that I did when I was more fulfilled and when I had built-in community, like college, and things that naturally gave me an identity. I don't expect that I will ever have anyone that will listen to me, and maybe I shouldn't, but I used to love watching influencers and, I used to like watching certain YouTubers that shared about their lives, and for the same reason that anyone would, like just to live through them. And the thing is that I've come to realize that I am sitting in a empty hole, in a state that is on the other side of California, which is where I wanted to live and to have my creative career of any kind, only to realize through various different consumption communities, the very few that America has to offer, and through various different interactions, and especially by looking up toxic, crazy shit online all day from other people, that I've become nothing, less than nothing. And as a lot of people put it, especially on Reddit, I'm just like a replaceable cog in the machine. And I'm basically just doing everything that I can to try to fight against that, even if it's just by talking to myself and uploading for myself, and to give myself a little bit of a relief from that. And just to talk about whatever the fuck it is that happened, or whatever it is that's going through my head for the day. Because I've noticed that there's not really a lot on any platform that is genuinely catered to day-to-day life or the life of the individual. And for me personally, it makes me feel profoundly frustrated and alone, and on my worst days, even vaguely traumatized. In the sense that it's just like every day is just like this apathetic emptiness towards the individual, and people either abuse you, ignore you, or they just talk about things that's, about famous people, or about politics, or the latest dangerous trend that happened. And so I'm just doing this basically just for myself, in the sense that I wish I could be an impact on this earth, but apparently I don't have the skills or the hobbies or the talent to have any impact. I write books, I paint, I'm getting into music, and honestly, I just have no influence. I talk, and I seem to be the exception to being one of those people that count in society in terms of being an influencer or being anyone at all. I don't really care anymore about like how pathetic it is to spew out your personal problems, and I don't believe this narrative that certain people are special and that they just have the it factor, and that's the reason why they spew out into society to the top of the pinnacle of the earth, and why other people are left to just be boring slaves. Because I've been watching certain people for almost 10 years of my life now, and they don't have any talent, they don't do anything that's special, they never have. They've always just been this extremely bland, neurotypical, memeified type of person. I can only think of one person that's ever been genuinely, somewhat interesting in terms of human psychology and executing it and being real about how fucking messy and grotesque and confusing and bewildering life is. And most successful people these days, especially on the internet, are basically just people who just spew out a bunch of random, memeified, extremely superficial, celebrity worshipping shit that is stuff that I psychologically graduated from when I was like 10 years old. And of course people love it because most people are brainless morons. And so of course those are the people that are going to get the 5 million subscribers, the money, the success, the ability to do whatever they want, to be known, to be cared about, to be told that they deserve love and community and a place on this earth. while people like me, the people who struggle to be able to have an identity in society, both personally and career-wise, are just kind of left to be able to be abused on various different anonymous apps all day. Um, and I don't get it. And I don't think any of it is fair. I don't think that there's necessarily any reason why some people blow up and some people don't, except for the fact that maybe 10 years ago the economy was less expensive, so they got to move to California, and it was easier to make their dreams come true. Or even just to have the chance at it, which people like me don't even have. Every day of my life is complete emptiness and of severe depression and wrestling. And it's funny because even though there's so much social media in this day and age, all it's done is serve to remind me about how completely uncared about and how alone you are with everyday individual experience. I'm a failed mother in the sense that I wanted to be a mother, and I can't afford it, and I'm too mentally ill to date, and I can't drive to meet anyone anyway, so every day really is just sitting around in complete emptiness. I'm aware that it's not interesting and that it's not entertaining, but I've seen people and YouTubers get thousands upon thousands of subscribers just for being, quirky and nuts and just for talking about themselves, so I'm not going to feel ashamed about approaching some of my identity problems with this approach. And I'm not going to pretend to be someone that I'm not. I don't go out and shop. I don't have a husband. I don't have a boyfriend. I don't pull pranks on people. I feel very detached from that whole culture. I don't buy extravagant clothes and exciting things that I can show off either. I'm pretty, in a sense, honestly, on the surface, I'm very boring. I just make art all day. But at the same time, I also feel extensively more interesting than the extremely psychologically bland people on YouTube that are getting blown up and have 5 to 6 million subscribers, where their brand is basically just to come out with reacting to this newest Halloween trend video or showing off their latest brand clothes or interviewing some other guy just to make them feel interesting. And then they just come on TikTok and all their content is just staring into the camera listlessly. And I just want to try to do something to make myself feel like I'll have a little bit of my own identity before I clock out of this earth. And that's it. I don't have any desire to put on any kind of performance. I think everything's really fucked up. As someone who is a consumer and a fan of American sitcoms, and that's pretty much it, and is using that with maladaptive daydreaming to cope with personal failed goals. I definitely know what it feels like to be nothing and a faceless nobody on the surface, and to be told literally every single day, wordlessly and otherwise, that you're just a boring, replaceable cog. And I don't know what life is all about, or why some people end up having nothing and nobody, and why some people end up having everything. And I certainly will admit that I don't know how to be able to get from here to there. And what I mean by that is I don't know how to be able to make myself feel like I have an identity and that I matter and that I have a place on this earth, because I haven't felt that way for years, and every day has literally just been either being alone, empty, comparing myself to the brainless, famous people on social media, being abused by the very few media consumption places that exist on the internet, which is the closest thing we have to community, which is full of incels and assholes and terrible people. I do know that at the end of the day, it's probably greater than anything that I either have the control over or anything that I can do anything about. And as much as that sucks, it is what it is, and all I can do is just be myself every day. But the problem is that being alone for so long and being a nothing consumer in American society, and having met so many severely depressed, toxic, terrible people, I have come to realize that there's a certain kind of severe depression and constant psychological torment that is with me all day, every day, and that no amount of self-love or creativity, if I don't have a sense of community or of anything, can help me with that. I don't think that I have the kind of personality or the brand that is going to go along well with YouTube or any social media platform, because I just don't relate to the people and the personalities that they have. But I am fucking lonely, and I'll do anything, so I'm just gonna do it.